What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Collider Interview Studio at South by Southwest 2024. I am sitting with the team behind Musica. Congratulations. Seriously, you don't believe me now because I've said this about a couple titles I love here.
You have to say it.
No, but it's true. It really is a one of a kind. I've never been put in a character's headspace quite like this, and really it's something that I think is very, very difficult to convey to other people in a way that they could both see and feel it, and I can't imagine you doing it in a way that brings me closer to that experience, so I mean it.
I really appreciate it. Thank you for watching.
So I launch into like a really nice review without anybody out there knowing what your movie is about. So
hey, I'll take it.
Can you give everyone a brief synopsis of your film?
Yeah, the film follows a young man based on me, played by me, who is trying to come to terms with his life and balance culture, family, relationships, all through this synesthetic perspective. He has synesthesia, I have synesthesia, and the film is through that lens.
I have many questions, but just to follow up on that, to give a little more context to folks out there who don't know about that condition, can you maybe explain what it is, and then also a little bit about how the movie goes about bringing the viewer into that world and experience?
Yeah, it's a condition. Synesthesia is a condition that's being researched and studied continuously. There's what I learned, 100 different types and counting, and I really identified with a few of the types, specifically rhythmic association, also things like ordinal number personification, and it's very relevant to a lot of musicians and non-musicians. It's hard to diagnose, so a lot of people who have it don't really know they have it, but by definition, it's when one sense involuntarily stimulates another. So some synesthetes can taste colors and others can smell numbers. For me, I have what's known as rhythmic association, whereby I try to organize sounds and situations into music, almost in an obsessive fashion. So the film explores that version of synesthesia in what I think is a romantic, fun way.
And very ambitious way. So my next question is about this being your first feature, which should be celebrated. It is a massive feat to make a movie happen. Two questions about that. What is the most significant roadblock you encountered getting this movie a green light? But then can you also tell me something good that came your way during that process, something that made you feel like, I'm really going to make this happen now?
Yeah, I think I'm professionally born on the internet, and speed is synonymous with creating content for the internet. I was conditioned to have an idea on Monday or compose something at the beginning of the week and it be public the next day. And here in the world of filmmaking and film development, time is, even though the most valuable asset during production, it also can take a lifetime to develop something. I think that was the biggest obstacle for me, was how long everything takes. But ultimately very rewarding because it taught me patience, and the more time it took to do another draft of the script or get another round of notes or put another meeting in the books, the closer I got to the material. So by the time we got there on the day one of production, I knew this thing so inside and out that there was really no room for error.
What a beautiful way to look
at
it.
Until there was.
Wow. I mean, a lot of times when the errors happen, that's when you find unexpected magic that makes something even stronger than what you had planned. So
totally.
That could be a good thing. For the three of you now, again, this is Rudy's first feature. I have a feeling there's going to be many more on the horizon if that's what you want. What is something about him as a scene partner, a director, a leader on set that you appreciated and want more people out there to experience?
Well,
there's nothing. Next question.
Stop that.
I remember being I've worked with a few first-time filmmakers before, and there's always a learning curve, naturally. That's just part of the process. But it didn't feel like I was working with a first-time filmmaker at all. Like, he knew what he wanted in a way that I haven't seen with people who have way more experience than him. And I think part of that is because it's such a personal story and such a personal experience that really this is a story only he could tell. So watching him lead a set with full confidence was insane to watch.
See, one of a kind. You're right.
One
it's
of
a
a
movie
kind.
that only you could make.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's very nice. And by the way, a testament to her as a co-producer as well. I mean, her as a co-producer, my mother as an actor, Francesca as an actor, they all elevated the material so much. So.
Oh, I'm coming back to the producing
All right,
aspect of it. Maria, I feel like I should rephrase that question for you because he's your son. So is there anything you saw him do on this movie that made even you go like, I knew you were talented, but I didn't know you were capable of that?
Yes, many times. Oh. Many times when he was the reason I was surprised. I was not surprised because I know he's like very talented and he loved what he's doing, but I could believe he could do so many things at the same time. I was a little nervous. Say, are you direct me? Are you gonna act in too many things at the same time? And I think he did incredibly well. Mm-hmm. So I would love to be in any movie in the future. Be in the movie.
Already chasing the next job.
I will. You're a natural. This is your first time acting.
She is.
Actually, first time. Because I did videos before, but it's different videos. It's just like with the phone. But now with all the cameras, I was nervous. I tried to be more natural, but it's difficult. Yeah.
I think you pull it off quite well. I mean that sincerely.
I'm very happy.
Francesca, I'll come back your way now with that original question. Something about Rudy as a scene partner and leader that you appreciated.
Well, I mean, I think, there's always like the director and the number one are usually like the people who bring the vibe, right? Like their job is all like vibe. What's the energy going to be like? And I've also worked with a lot of first-time directors, and sometimes the energy is just like stress. But they're coming up to you and they're like, "Hey, how are you? You good? Everything good?" But you can just like feel the stress behind their eyes. You're like, "You're struggling today. Yeah, you're having a day." But Rudy every day would come on the set and he'd be like, "How we all doing today? Like, let's go. We're gonna make a movie." And you just like felt that energy every day, and you made
Is that how I sound?
That was a spot-on impression.
It's great.
We're making a movie.
We're making a movie. What are you? You excited? You nervous?
I didn't know
How you feeling?
I was a pizza man from Brooklyn.
No, from Jersey. That was Jersey.
He brought big pizza man energy on set.
You really
That's
gave
such a
big
beautiful
delivery
thing
man
to
energy.
frequently say. When I was in film school and like we were all stressed with our assignments, there was one person in our class who would always AD, and his thing was whenever like the mood or the energy would dip, he'd be like, "Guys, like what's going on? We're making a movie."
Someone's gotta
like,
pick
when
up
you
the
said
energy.
that was immediately what
Yeah.
it brought me back to.
Well, you hear that, and then you're like, how could I not be excited about doing this now? And then, like, as a scene partner as well, it was like, he was easy to, like, just, like, easy to play off of, easy to just, like, it was all very, like, flexible. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could just, like, move the way you want to, and he was open to suggestions. If I was like, "Rudy, I don't want to say this," he'd be like, "Say whatever you want, but make sure it makes sense, but say whatever you want." It was
And then
just
I'd
like,
panic in my trailer.
To build on that a little, I'll go back to something I had brought up earlier. Can you name a time on this set when things weren't going to plan? Like maybe you got a little nervous, but you found a creative way to pivot and something in the movie wound up better off for it.
No, everything was perfect. there was a lot of pivoting and readjusting because some things cut really well in your head and then are not actualized in the same way. What happened?
Well, because we were kind of shooting during COVID times.
Oh, yeah.
There was a big like COVID situation where we had to stop filming for like we lost like what was it 6 hours of the day.
Yeah, COVID got in the way, and then there was also an electrical failure.
we
and
had
it put us
that
back
big
6 hours.
power outage thing, and then we couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, come
So
to think of
everyone
it, it
got
was
mad at
a
us.
huge disaster. Everything.
No, but the point is,
It was your last day.
That was my last day. Yeah. And there was a fire. It was a fire.
oh right, I forgot
that
about that.
house?
Yeah.
It just keeps getting worse.
But my point is like, you lose 6 hours, but then because you have to really power through the rest, you end up.
That's what Camila was saying about the woman who had COVID. Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Shooting under those conditions and the COVID protocols was certainly a challenge. And that's actually a good point because there's a lot of performers in any given musical sequence or set piece. And when you're limited to so many bodies, like for the fish market, for instance, I think we couldn't have more than 20 bodies, including the crew. And I have to really jam pack these performers, get as many people in there and create an environment that's as realistic as possible. But in a weird way, that actually ended up working better because fewer bodies meant more concise musical parts. And it brought like a theatricality to the set pieces that had it been double the amount of people or performers, it maybe would have been too convoluted and less specific.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I'm going to jump from that to like one of the most ambitious scenes or sequences, I guess, that I've seen at this festival. It's your oneer. I love oneers in general. What you do in this one in particular, like truly blew my mind. I don't really understand how you pull something like that off. So I'm curious from like each of your perspectives, what was the single most difficult thing to making that happen?
It felt so exciting in the moment because we rehearsed it for an entire day the day before. And so by the time we were filming it, we were all very prepared. And it felt like doing theater. Like Fran and I come from theater.
NYU,
we met at NYU
Yeah.
and Tisch. So from a theater perspective, it felt like we were just performing a show and had like quick changes in the background. And there was something really exciting about it. I think that when you know you have one take to get something, everyone just kind of turns on and everyone has to make it happen. So I don't know. I don't personally feel like it was difficult, but maybe your experience is different because you were the one really leading the whole thing.
Yeah, I've auditioned a similar idea in a short that I've done that I had done a few years prior and published on YouTube. I love oneers. I mean, what filmmaker doesn't? I'm very inspired by Scorsese, not only because of his famous oneers, but because he casts his own mother in his films. But we had that day of rehearsal, and it's also a testament to our DP and production designer who collaborated on these schematics. I mean, there was a book of schematics in order to pull that off. I really had to fight for the oneer because the big question was, what's the point? Why not? Are you saying anything beyond this just being a cool film technique? And I was, and we could have shot that in multiple different locations and match cut each location and made it more of a classic cut montage. But the theatricality and one take approach was really reflective of what Rudy's character is going through at the time, which is trying to balance the chaos of his life and all these people and keep up with the lies. I call it the rhythm of lies. And what a better way to depict chaos and losing control than a chaotic oneer. So from a production standpoint and story standpoint, it was chaos and it felt like one long day.
Beautiful to look at. Very, very, very effective for his journey and again, putting us in his shoes. Is there anything you two want to add about the oneer experience?
Yeah, I really can't emphasize the energy of this movie. Like, it's like what Cami said about theater. There's a different energy to just like going through all the way instead of stopping and starting and stopping and moving or feeling one take like you have something and then them calling cut and then you taking a break or looking at your phone and disconnecting and then like coming back into it and being like, wait, I lost that thing I just had. So getting to start and go and doing all the quick changes and just like feeling the energy of Rudy when he went from one scene to the other, and you could just like, you could feel it. Like there were all these moments where you were like, oh God, if this was real life, like I could feel like, what's up? Are you good? Oh my God, I'm so, there's just, he really magically, colorfully, beautifully just brings such an energy to this movie that isn't in a lot of movies that are being made. And I think that's really why that oneer is so important and was so fun. I loved all my outfits in that oneer too, so.
Yeah, they were like changing outfits in real time.
Yeah, me and Cami were like behind walls being like, you good, you good?
I look at a shot like that and I'm like, if I was in that situation, it wouldn't be like some massive F up. I like wouldn't be able to get like the shirt over my head or something. Like, it would be something really silly and stupid that would hold up the entire thing.
It was 14 takes, I think. It was only half a day of shooting, actually.
What about the chair pushing, where they had to like push you
great.
in and push me out, or
that was
vice
amazing.
versa?
Do you remember this, Ma?
No. Remember the chair?
That was a day. Do you remember the day where we shot all on a stage, and the sets were moving, and you were at one point we were emulating the kitchen, and then they changed. It
Oh yes, yes, yeah.
And there was a salon, and it was all in one go.
Yes. I remember.
So good, so good. I wanted to come back to the producing thing. Executive producer on this movie. I love seeing actors that have a really wide fan base getting behind films in a producerial capacity, because sometimes it can make things happen that might not happen otherwise. So what does it mean to you to be a producer, and what are some of your priorities in terms of how you want to influence the projects you work on for the better in that capacity?
What an amazing question. I mean, I mainly got into producing as a way to kind of take control of the things I creatively involve myself in, and you know, to protect myself, because when you are a producer, you get a certain amount of authority that you don't get just as an actor. So it started off like that. And then as I started doing it, I really started to fall in love with it. And I feel like a lot of natural parts of my personality lend themselves to producing. I'm way more of a technical, analytical person, which I think, you know, a lot of actors can be more intuitive and free-spirited, and I'm way more rigid and planned out and strategic. So I feel like producing really fits that set of skill sets. And I think something I've realized, I really want to, you know, especially after this movie, like create more opportunities for, I mean, it doesn't have to be specifically Brazilian. If it is, then that would be amazing, for Brazilian actors, because I feel like there aren't enough roles showcasing the level of talent that there is out there. I want to be able to create projects that give actors that opportunity to show their range of talent, you know?
I'm so here for it. More of that. Keep doing it. Before I have to let you all go, I'm going to ask you our Supercut question. It's the question we're asking in every interview. So I like highlighting the good in this industry, and sometimes I feel like it could be a little bit of a doom and gloom mentality. So in an effort to spotlight good stuff out there, can you each tell me a recent movie you saw that gives you hope for the future of Hollywood?
Poor Things.
Damn it.
Poor Things. Sorry, was that your answer?
Hold on, I have to think now.
What is it about Poor Things that inspires you?
It's a masterpiece. It's everything about it is flawless. Like I have no notes, and I could watch it a million more times. It's just so, it's fun to watch. It's really funny. Like the humor in it is amazing. The concept is brilliant. The performances are amazing. The visuals are stunning. I mean, it's just 10 out of 10 movie.
One of my
Trust
favorite
in your
movies.
I'm
female
a
lead,
massive
right?
Yorgos fan.
Like
huh?
everything Emma Stone does, like the
Yes.
amount of trust you have to put in your female lead as an actress, as a performer, and what she had to do, you're just like, yes, continue to give us roles like that, where
Yes.
we are like, where it is very empowering, where we are like, where we're watching how women kind of have to grow and learn and figure things
Navigate
out. Also,
the
like
world.
under the umbrella of men a lot of the times. Like, what does that look like? And watching her break away from like Mark Ruffalo's character, which we might have all
Also
encountered.
amazing.
And I mean,
Ugh.
iconic.
But Musica's cool. You guys should check it out.
Yeah,
The show comes out of Prime. Mom, what's a film you saw recently that you loved?
Last night I was in the plane with my daughter, and then she said, "Mom, you can watch a movie." I said, "Okay." She put a lots of movie. I didn't like any, but I like this one. Forgot the name.
What movie was it?
The one about the astronaut, the Latino astronaut.
Played by Michael
I wanna be
Pena.
A Million Miles Away.
Oh,
Michael
Million Miles
Pena.
Away.
Great
Oh, I
movie.
love
Great
it.
You like
movie.
it?
Yeah.
I have to see the end, the real end, because you just arrive and then I couldn't see the end. But I love the whole movie. I like that's the kind of
I haven't
movie
seen
I
that
like.
one.
And plus that movie, our movie.
Excellent. That's an excellent movie. So is yours. Rudy, do you have another one?
I loved Anatomy of the Fall, and I was really happy it got made, and it is getting the accolades that it deserves. Before that, Everything Everywhere All at Once really rocked my world from a filmmaking and editorial and performance perspective. So, yeah, I think we're in good hands.
I was going to say, and now you get to celebrate the premiere of your own movie at the same festival that launched Everything Everywhere.
crazy.
That's
It's
the
crazy.
coolest thing ever. It's very well deserved. Huge congratulations on Musica. Huge congratulations for being able to celebrate it at South by Southwest. And
Thank you.
thanks for sharing your experience
Thanks
with
so
us.
much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.